It's wonderful to be together. I'm sitting here in Vancouver, and I'd be just wondering what I would like to do. Yesterday, I was just thinking about. Okay, so let me go back. My mind is a little bit mixed up right now because I was wondering if I should do this video or not, and so because it talks about my personal pain and everything else, my own personal life. It has obviously being a Christian. There is a part of our life that we see the men and women of God that are ministering on the stage, but we don't see really their personal pain. And I was wondering if I should share my pain or not, because this is really personal to me. And second part is this, that I was thinking, is it safe enough? Is this safe enough of a place, an environment for me to share my own family personal problems with you guys? And I thought, it's interesting because God knows my pain and everything, and I feel safe enough to share my pain with Him and talk to Him. But it's interesting that when it comes to the body of Christ, we have so many bad experiences that people attack you when they know things about your life that you think to hide it. But if you do hide it, then you don't really trust them. And I realized that we have fear of being attacked or judged and everything else. So for me, I honestly trust you guys. Created this platform so that I can actually share my heart and share my journey. I never have pretended to be perfect. I have, in fact, been blessings on you, blessings. I have always tried to be very honest, and so so I want to share with you about my own personal pain and what is happening, and I want to share with you guys about my life and the results of a divorce that I went through that has to do with my children. If so I'm going to be sharing about what happened yesterday with my oldest daughter here in Canada, and the past days that I have spent time with them and everything else. So if you find that interesting, so please hang around. So anyways, those of you know that I have been divorced. I had a marriage of 25 years with my ex, Melissa. We had 6 beautiful children. It was a turbulent marriage from the beginning, and the fact that it was turbulent, that's why we didn't have kids for 10 years. One day I will share all of the details of my marriage and everything in a book. Hopefully that would be some sort of an assistance to the next generation. Blessings on you. And so but today I want to share about this part that sometimes you do, and I was sharing that to with my kids and some of my nieces here, and I said, marriage is never guaranteed. You go in, you hope for the best, but you may end up with the worst. And so when things don't work out, and for me, I'm a believer in giving your best in everything. When things don't work out, God has put a way out, and that is divorce. And divorce is supposed to be the 100% guarantee rate. Even though marriage we can express it as 50-50, divorce, when you say, okay, we can't do this, we're going a separate way, it's supposed to be the bringing peace, restoring peace. And that should be 100%, but it seems like we didn't even I wasn't able to do divorce well. And so because I've tried to keep peace. I've tried to you know, I, when I was in the court, the judge asked me what are the evidence I have against my ex. And I said, I don't have anything against her. Because she's the daughter of the king. And she is the wife of 25 years of my life. And she's the mother of my children, and we have 6 kids. It's like being stuck on a one-way street. No matter what, we have 6 birthdays every year. We're gonna have 6 graduations. We're gonna have 6 marriages. We're gonna have, 6 couples having kids and everything, so grandkids. So I'm not gonna say anything against her, because why would I say that against 25 quarter century of my life? I'm not gonna say that. We just tried our best. And I said, no, Your Honor, I'm Persian, she's Chinese, both old cultures. And the reality is, there was this great big wall between us that never came down. And so this is why we are here. So I said, I want everything. Half my most important things is the kids, I don't my thing is, God gave these kids to me and to the kid, to her, so we are half and half. ببخشید متاسفانه اینجا چیزه میشه، نمیتونم ترجمهش کنم، ولی بعدا میتونم برش گردونم به فارسی. تو آینده نزدیک میخوام اصلا یک کانال فارسی شروع کنیم که برای ایرانیا باشه. خیلی اتفاقا فکر نیازه. Sorry, I was just sharing with one of the people that is Persian, how because they wanted translation, but I have to activate that later on the thing. So I was explaining that. So, anyways, as I have been going through these things, I have tried to keep in touch with the children and everything else. One of the things it was her belief, in divorce, things come out that is your core belief. Her core belief was she wanted to hurt me, and she knew that, she said that, and she knew what hurts me most is the kids, and so things are very messy. It's still very messy. She tries to keep the kids away. The kids are keeping some more contact these days. When they were younger, she would take their stuff away and say, oh yeah, they lost their iPad, they this, that, and we just chugged along. But all of these have given them a standard. I was talking to my daughters here and my son, and I asked them, when you are grown up, when you have your own family, you have your own husbands and children, how often do you want to see your family? My oldest daughter said, on a special occasions. I said, okay, special occasion, how often is that? What is a special? Because each individual special occasions may be different. She says, Christmas, New Year, maybe Easter, something like that. Oh, wow. I said, is birthdays special occasions that you want to see your family? It could be not. I'm like, oh, wow, so maybe 4 or 5 times a year? Yeah. I said, wow. I was so shocked. Being Persian, I was so shocked. I didn't know what to say. I asked my other daughter, Roxana, how about you? She says, once every other week. I said, okay. And then I asked Kassan, the youngest, I said, how often do you, when you have your own family, a husband and children, how often do you want to see? She says, once, maybe twice every other week. So I said, would be fair enough to say once every 10 days? Yes. And so I called my daughter in Germany because she grew up with my mindset. She grew up under my care. The other three grew up under my exes. And we asked her and said, "Hey, Kiana, this is so interesting. I gave a question. I want to ask you, how often do you want to see your brothers and sisters when you have your own family?" She said, "You know what? That I would love to see my brothers and sisters living in the same street or something, so our kids can play together all the time. We can run into each other. We can just sit, have coffee in the afternoons, or tea, or some cookies, or dinner, or lunch, or something like that. Every weekend, being hanging out together." I was like, "Wow, that is absolutely Persia." And that's from where I come from. And I was like, "Oh wow, yeah." So, anyways, what happened was, later on, my son came, Dariush, which grows is under my ex, and I asked him, "Hey, Dariush, I asked your sisters this question. I want to ask you this same question. How often do you want to see your siblings when you're grown up and you have a marriage and children?" And he said, "Once a month." He said, "Okay. How often do you think they said it?" He says, "Maybe once a month." I said, "No, actually, most days about 4, maybe 5 times a year." He says, "Makes sense." And I said, "Okay. How about Roxana?" She said, "Probably the same." I said, "No, once a month." I said, "No." She said, "Actually, once every other week." Good. I said, "And Cassandra, same, once every other week?" I said, "No, once every 10 days. But Darish, I have a question for you. Yes. How often do you think Kiana desires to spend time with you?" And even though Kiana has been living with me for 5 years and they haven't really seen each other once or twice in between and all these things, he said, "If it is up to Kiana, she probably wants to see me more often." I said, "Like how often?" "2 or 3 times a week." I said, "Wow, that's interesting. Why?" He says, "Because Dad, she grew up with you." I said, "This is so interesting." And why? And I was thinking, isn't that interesting that we desire to do church like the first century? And the first century church, it says daily they got together and they hung out with one another. But in our own family, when it comes to brothers and sisters growing up under the same roof at this moment, when they look into the future, they go, I want to be on events meeting them. Such an environment can never become the first century church, because the first century church went to work and looked forward to the evenings when they can hang out together, eat together, and share their life with one another and talk about God. But we don't have that. So we end up with churches that people go to once a week, and sometimes, like Moshe, on a special occasions. And so I realized the environment under which we are raising our children is going to affect their spiritual life. Of course, for me, it's been painful watching that, but I could sense something else. But I couldn't quite put my finger on it. I couldn't really see. And I was like, "What is this?" Because I asked them, I said, "Do you guys," I asked them a question. If you grew up with me, if you grew up with my family, then you know Afshin is a person that asks questions. And this got on my parents' nerve, and probably still to this day, and my brothers and sisters. But now they have learned, hey, Afshin always gives questions, because through questions do I find wisdom? Do I get to hear your heart? Do I get to see where you are? I believe I cannot see you. You may be sitting there, but I haven't seen you unless I give you a question and you share your heart with me. And so, and this is it is sad. And so, yeah, so I said to give them a question, and I said, do you guys think I'm a good father? And they said, yes. I said, okay, give me um, some of my weaknesses. Give me as many as you think you can think of that are weakness that you see. And they went thinking, and they said, you can't really think about anything. I said, give me what you think is my strength. And I said, oh, you fight for us, you love us, you really are goal oriented, you don't give up, this, that, and everything else. I was like, okay. So they have tasted something. I thought maybe they have, they see and they're angry with me or something. But I didn't see that. And I was like, something is wrong. So I've been hanging out with them individually, and in recent days, the kids, the younger kids, most they had chicken pox, so now the younger kids have it, and so I'm unable to spend time with them. And so I hung out with Moishte yesterday. You know, she's when it comes to love language, she's more of a touch person. So she comes, she puts her head, Dad, give me a massage. So I'm giving her back rub and playing with her hair. You know, she slept on my knees, took a nap and everything. Then when she woke up like a couple hours later, she's like, Dad, let's do something. I'm like, yeah, sure. What would you like to do? So let's go downtown. Okay, let's go downtown. Do you want to take the bus and have fun? No, no, no. I want you to drive me. So it's hard to find parking, but let's do it. So we did. We went there, kind of traffic, got there, having conversations. Again, I'm giving her questions and everything else. As we make our way downtown, she's like, now, I want to have corn dogs on Robson Street. It's beautiful with corn dogs. I'm like, okay. I want to have hot pot. I'm like, perfect. Let's do it. So which one do you want? I want to go first to the corn dog. Yeah. We went. I got her a corn dog. She's like, Dad, buy one. I said, I don't eat that much. So if I eat this, I can't eat the other one. Which one would you like me to share to eat with you? Okay, hot pot. Okay, great. But taste this one. I said, okay, great. I took a bite and everything. And then after the corn dog, she's like, what do you? I said, are you hungry right now? Or do you want to go for a walk and get hungrier and then go back? Because I was a big corn dog. She said, oh, let's go for a walk. On the way, Starbucks, can I have a drink? Sure. I get her a drink. And it's crazy, $8 a drink. And she takes a couple of sips. Okay, Dad, I don't want it anymore. I'm like, what? Yeah, I don't like coffee very much. I just like one or two sips. I'm like, $8 for 2 sips? And he's like, yeah, you drink it. I'm like, if I wanted, I would have gone. And again, if I eat and drink these things, then I can't have dinner. So anyways, we shared the coffee, and as we are having a conversation, I talked to her, and going downtown, I remembered something. Many years ago, I had long hair, and we were with my Iranian friends and everyone. And one of my Iranian friends' partner, she was like, oh, she liked my curly hair, and I had really long hair, and she was just playing with my hair, and then suddenly my ex came and cussed her out and said, you, whatever, get your hands off of my husband's hair. And we were all shocked. In my culture, we don't cuss and swear like that, you know, especially in a family environment. And so my daughter said, yeah, she did a good thing. I said, I don't think so. She said, why not? I said, because she is a daughter of God, the mom is a daughter of God, and we should treat each other like the children of God. We shouldn't say these things. And he says, no, but she deserves it. I said, it's not about what deserves. It's not proper as a child of God that you have a ministry. You want to share with somebody. If you see a brokenness, if you see something wrong, you want to address it in love. No, no, no. She could have punched her out. This, that. I said, yes, she could have. That is one type of an answer. But there are other types. You are choosing a type that is not the one that allows you to express who you truly are. It doesn't express your heart for God or your calling. And she's like, nah, you know what? Don't worry, Dad. I'm just all you need to worry about is that I'm pretty. I'm like, yes, you are. You're very pretty, but is that all you are? And she's like, yeah, I'm pretty. That's enough. I'm like, no, you are pretty, but you're more. Aren't you more than just being pretty? It's like, yes, I'm also awesome. I'm like, okay, what else? She's like, I'm very kind too. I'm like, uh-huh. I'm also very awesome again. Do you show your kindness? She says, I'm kind to my mother. I'm kind to my brothers and sisters. I'm kind to you. I'm like, oh, perfect. How are you kind to me? She's like, look, I do you a favor. I spend time with you. I said, excuse me. She's, holding my arm. And we're walking. And I said, excuse me. She said, yeah, right now. I'm doing you a favor. I'm spending time with you. I just totally had flashbacks. I'm like, you're doing me a favor? Like, you're having pity on me? You're feeling pity out of the kindness of your heart. You spend time with me. Yeah. But don't make a big deal about it, Dad. I'm like, it is a big deal. I pulled my hand away. And I was like, I have never asked you guys to have pity on me or out of the kindness of your heart to want to spend time with me. Wow, what a generation we're raising up. And all these times I knew something is wrong. I knew something is amiss. When she said that, I remembered. Melissa, my ex, used to say, yeah, you should feel lucky that I'm here still with you. I'm like, I beg your pardon, you're staying with me out of the pity? No relationship can blossom and bear sweet fruits if the partners are thinking they are there because they're having pity on the other one, or because God forced them, or because of anything else. A relationship blossoms and gives wonderful fruit, and both parties desire each other. And they find it. It's a privilege for me to be with you. Not it's a privilege for you to be with me. And I always had an issue with that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it's the repeat of my ex-marriage, ex-relationship that, she thought I am privileged to be with her, but she is not privileged to be with me. And I was like, oh, and because she is so kind, she's with me. And I just pulled my hand and I walked and I kept on walking. And then she stopped walking slower. And then I looked back and she says, oh yeah, I said, where are you? Don't you want your hot pot? Or did you run out of kindness of your heart and you're done? She's like, yeah, I just saw you're a bit upset, so I just got on the bus and left. So okay. Um, I was like, okay, few things. Do you want to ride? No. You have a bag in my car. Should I leave it on the side of the road? Because for me, I felt like one day she's going to go into a marriage and she's going to treat her husband like that. And I don't know if the husband would be as tolerant, because in my culture, we went through, but in today 21st century's culture, I don't know if guys or ladies have got a huge tolerance to stay in unhealthy relationship for 25 years like I did, or for 60 years like my mom and dad. And I said, rather than us preparing the next generation, if to become more successful in their marriage, we seem to be screwing it up. And I was like, isn't that interesting that she is walking a path and she has a father that loves her so much, that cares about her so much. And then she thinks, oh, I am having kindness. Out of the kindness of my heart, I spend time with my dad. Because somehow, when he hangs out with me, that's good enough for him. And let me add another perspective to it. They think, actually, now that I'm getting so much, what I need to do is get them everything. Buy this, buy that. Dad, buy me a car. Dad. I'm like, I'm a bank machine. And so it was really, I just went for hours and walked. But I also remembered every time, like, I wanted to take my ex years ago for a date, it always ended up in some sort of an argument and everything. And I said, wow, this is the repeat of all that relationship. And I just made my way to the waters. I was sitting and I was kind of having a hard time to breathe and express my pain to God, because He's my only safe place. I felt the Lord saying to me, Afshin, I feel you, I hear your heart. I'm like, Daddy, I wanted to be a good father to them, and I wanted to create an environment in which they will serve you, because years ago I said, as for me and my house, we shall serve you. I wanted all my children to serve you. And then the Lord said to me, Afshin, my children treat me that way too. I said, what? He says, many come to me. They think, when they show up, that should be good enough. I should be so happy that they're there. And then they are like, okay, now, Daddy God, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that, give me this, give me that. Look, I love God so much. I'm kind enough to spend time with Him in prayer, maybe in church. But I, as a pastor, know many Christians say, I'm a good Christian. I go to church. I'm a good Christian. Somehow God should feel privileged now. I said to my daughter, actually, now, this is funny, this happened, but actually, an hour or so before, I just had this feeling, and she says, how are you? And I said, um, I feel like, uh, I'm being buried. She said, what? I said, have you ever lost someone close to you? Have you seen someone die? I said to Moshe, this is before these things happen. My mind is a little bit mixed up because of me being emotional at the moment. And she said, no, I've never lost anybody. She said, that would be bad. That would be sad. I said, no, that's one of the actually best things that could happen to you. She said, what do you mean? I said, at a funeral, someone you love, you always can feel something. You look at the individual and all the history you had with them, and then you long for the things that you would have wanted, but you can't anymore because that person is not there anymore. And then you say, hey, you're missing certain things that you used to do together, and that's gone too. And then you look back and say, if I could go back, what would I change? What are the things that I did and I would do it again? And how the internet was playing, I'm trying to walk a little bit closer to see if I can. I don't know if this is working right now or not. But anyways, I said, I feel like you guys are burying me. She's like, what do you mean? That's sad. I said, yeah, it's not about someone breathing. When you are listening to somebody, and when someone is sharing and talking, but you don't hear their heart, you have no desire to listen to them, you have no respect, you have no honor, you have no place of importance for their words, they're already dead. And she's like, oh yeah, I see that. I said, I feel like you guys have already buried me. And she says, how? I said, because you guys don't value my words. Like the way you dress, the way you act. My heart for you guys was that you guys would have a relationship with God and everything else. You value none of my words. I ask you to, in your finances to be faithful. No, in the way you dress, your shorts are so short, and so you don't value my words. And so whether it is dressing up, whether it is this, whether it is that, so it feels like you guys have already buried me, or you're in the process of burying me. So why am I sharing this? I felt like, honestly, first and foremost, this is a safe place for me. And I think the body of Christ should be brave enough to create such a safe environment. Yes, I'm a pastor. Yes, I minister. And yes, I'm human. And yes, I'm broken. And yes, I have pain. And yes, I need a family. who knows tomorrow, what tomorrow brings and what God will do. Because I know my daddy God is a God of miracle. So maybe one day this will be a testimony. Maybe one day when I'm gone, my children will watch this and go, oh wow, I don't know. But do we have safe enough of an environment to share with one another these things? And are we creating an environment? Because I'm truly concerned. If I see formulas, and when you treat a parent a certain way, it would be the likelihood of you treating your partner like that is the same. You know, I told yesterday my nephew, Isaiah, I said, hey, Isaiah, you don't say hello. I said, if you were the king of a country and everybody in that kingdom acted like you, would you be proud of being the king of that country? He said, no. So would you like living there? He said, no. I said, then act like a king that would be proud of his kingdom. Because when you are a husband, when you are a father, you need to have a standard that would be so amazing that you would be proud to have put such rules and have created such environment. So my request to you guys is your prayer support for my children. I see they have been, they take on cultures, and they've taken on the culture of my ex. So it's a choice, right? At the same time, for me, I have learned that I need to keep my eyes focused on the kingdom and keep on just serving, because I can't bring any change to her. I can pray, I can believe, I can hope, but I can't bring any change. I can't force a change. But where I can do is take this pain and talk to the next generations and share it. So maybe you're a young person and you're listening. Remember, have a heart for your parents and others, and remember, if you don't have anybody that you value their words, when you value their standards, you value their vision, even though you talk to them, they're dead to you. If we say we believe in God, but we have no value for his words, maybe he has already died. He has become somebody that we take things from, but we don't give anything to. So, I love you guys. I ask you guys to keep praying for me, so I will have the strength to keep on and the ministry. Because honestly, this is why they call me Baba Afshin back in Germany, and so yeah, and now people also on YouTube, you know, in Greece and here. Today I'm meeting a spiritual daughter I have never met. She calls me Baba. And so anyways, what I want to say, look, all of these pains that I go through I always say, your misery will become your ministry. Because through your pain, do you realize God's pain. And through pain, actually, people connect with you. So, blessings on you guys. I love you all. Thank you for being part of this family. Thank you for being a safe place for me to share my pain, my very, very personal life with you guys. Thank you for helping this this channel grow. For all the new members, I want to say welcome to this family. And every one of you that share it with your other, so many people write and say, hey, my daughter or my relative told me that I should watch and I love it, this, that. Thank you, all of you. Um, Welcome to this family that we all can be real, we can be ourselves because this is safe. Yeah, and those of you who are supporting us and everything else, I'm really looking forward to seeing Cyrus House 2 in Germany finish because we're needing place, and now more people around the world are saying, hey, we want to come visit you, and some, can we have, is there a place for us to stay and this and that? And I'm like, yeah, of course, we'll try to see what we can do. So we really need this space. And then the others who are saying, hey, can we come actually stay there, join the ministry? So it is wonderful. It is wonderful. I love you all. In the midst of all these trials, God is doing something amazing. At least I can say God is binding our hearts together. I love you. Talk to you soon.